Om. Om. Om.
ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदः क्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14. Verse 22. In the earlier verse 21, read it. 21.
अर्जुन उवाच कैर्लिङ्गैस्त्रीन् गुणानेतान् अतीतो भवति प्रभो किमाचारः कथं चैतान् त्रीन् गुणानतिवर्तते।
In earlier this verse 21, Arjuna had asked the description of a gunatitaha. Gunatitaha is a atmadhyani, brahmadhyani. One who has transcended the gunas. One who is independent of gunas. One who is totally unaffected by the gunas. What are gunas? Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna, which are the constituents of Maya, the creative power of Ishvara. And this goes into the constitution of the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five great elements: space, air, fire, water, earth, which make all our gross bodies and also subtle bodies. Our physical bodies are made up of these Pancha Mahabhutas, which constitute three gunas. All our psyche, all our thoughts, which give us joys and sorrows, are also made up of Pancha Mahabhutas in their subtle form. In short, technically called as what? Karya, Karana, Sangha. The assembly of the body and the instruments both physical level and at the subtle level. We, because of our identification with the physical body, in the sense taking the physical body as I, in spite of the fact that I, me in reality in everyone is something which is distinct from the physical body, distinct from the subtle body, mind, intellect, distinct from ignorance as in the sleep. I permeates whatever I, that entity is, what is the Chaitanya Tattva, the pure awareness principle, permeates in the gross body, waking state, also including the subtle body, waking state. And in the dream, specifically the antakarana, exclusive of gross body. In the sleep, both are absent. There is only ignorance is there. And yet, it is independent of them. Gross body is not available in the dream. Dream body and the gross bodies are not available in the sleep. Sleep is not available when they are awake or the dreaming. Yet, that one awareness principle is in and through all these things. This is because of our identification. Whatever that happens at the physical body level or the antakarana, mind intellect level, we take it to be our feature, because we have mistaken ourselves to be these bodies, which is not the truth. Though this mistake is universally committed. That is where Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, in short, Adhyatma Shastra or Vedanta, comes and tells us, provided we are available for inquiry. They don't tell us to believe it, but it says, please inquire into this. You have committed a great mistake. Here is a jnani called Gunatita, who has cognized directly his true nature, I, pure awareness, Chaitanya, Chit, pure consciousness principle, free from gross, subtle bodies, including the ignorance, causal body, and he is independent of them, and he is called as Gunatita. This Gunatita Jnani is the same as the one who was described as Sita Prajna in the chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Bhakta as chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita. Here he is named as Gunatita. Arjuna asks 3 questions. What are the lakshanas, features of this Gunatita? Number 1. What is the achara, conduct? How does Gunatita conduct oneself in the world when he is interacting with the world? Number 3. How does he become Gunatita? Means, what are the sadhanas? What are the means adopted by this Gunatita? 3 questions are there. Bhashyakara, Adi Shankaracharya, clubs them as 2 questions. He takes Lakshana and Achara as 1 question about the Lakshana feature, and the means, the sadhanas, how he became a Gunatita. This way, the 3 questions of Arjuna are recategorized as 2 by who? Bhashyakara, and also the Bhagavan Krishna also. And he answered, see, these are the lakshanas of the Gunatita, and after it is told, This is how he accomplishes it. We have seen the Prastavana Bhasha of this. Read verse 22.
प्रकाशञ्च प्रवृत्तिञ्च मोहमेव च पाण्डव न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति.
Bhagavan has already described the karya, the effect of Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. When Sattva-guna predominates in their mind, what happens? When Rajoguna predominates in their mind, what happens? When Tamoguna predominates in their mind, what happens? Already told. So therefore it says, Pandava Prakasham cha Pravrittim cha Moham eva cha Moham eva, add there etani. Continue. Cha. Sampravruttani. Add iti. Na dveshti. Nivruttani. Add cha tani na kankshati. Pandava. Arjuna, son of Pandu. This is what is the disposition, outlook of a Gunatita. When these three are sampravruttani, have started their function. Means these three gunas have started function. How? Prakasham cha. Prakasha in terms of perception of the world, knowing one thing or other. Prakasha figuratively in terms of the knowledge. When Sattva Guna manifests, we are able to know the things, perceive the things, so from which we can make out, oh, now Sattva Guna is dominating. Pravrittim cha. Active, very active. Do this, do that, etc. You can make out, oh, Rajoguna is dominant. Moham eva cha. Moha. The Tamakarya. Stupor. Inertia. Not doing what needs to be done. Evacha means when Sattva Guna manifests its Karya effect, or Rajoguna manifests Karya effect, or Tamoguna manifests its Karya the effect. This Gunatita, this Jnani, what does he do? Na sampravruttani, when engaged in their corresponding functions. Na dveshti, doesn't hate them. Ayyo, Sattva-guna has what? He is effective now. It will bind me with the notion that I know, I am happy. So this is not good. This is what he doesn't hate them. Or Rajoguna is now dominant. I become very active. He is not bothered at all. Tamoguna is active. I am stupor, inertia. No. Aviveka. No, he is not bothered at all. No, sampravrtani, when they are engaged in their function, Jivan Gunatita also means Jivan Mukta also says, Na dveshti, apritim na karoti. Dvesha also means apriti, dislike. He doesn't dislike, he is indifferent about them. Again, nivruttani, when the effects of sattva guna, rajoguna and tamoguna have ceased, stopped, disappeared. Na kangshati. Ayo, I was highly sattvic. Now sattva has gone. I want to be sattvic. It doesn't desire them. But I want to be active. It doesn't desire. Or I want to just while away that time. No. Whether they are functioning or not functioning, this jnani gunatita is what? Indifferent. He knows in my presence, which me it is, in the presence of me, the Chaitanya Tattva. This embodiment, this physical body, with all its jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, with antakarana, perceives the jagat, and whatever. Takes to the knowledge, actions, stupor, etc. But me, Chaitanya, is independent of them. I am always Ananda Swarupa. The effects that are cast by these three gunas cannot do anything to me, though all of them do depend on me, Chaitanya Atma, for their existence. Just as the clouds, born of the heat of the sun only, appear as though cover the sun. Underline, I have said, appear as though cover the sun. Yet they can't cover the sun. Even when our eyesight is covered by the clouds and we say the sun is covered, sun is all shining without any covering. Not only that, it reveals, it illumines the presence of the clouds. Similarly, on account of these gunas, whether at the physical body level, antakarana level, or ignorance level, many things can happen. But Chaitanya is independent of that and not affected by them at all. If at all we are not able to know ourselves because of ignorance, our buddhi, our intellect is covered. Just as the sight is covered, you say the sun is covered. The buddhi is covered because of ignorance. We say, I don't know what my swarupa is. So therefore, this person is gunatita, is indifferent towards the actual manifestation of the three gunas or their withdrawal from it. He has nothing to gain from that. He has nothing to lose. Let us see now the Bhasya. Read Prakasham cha Sattva Karyam.
प्रकाशं च सत्वकार्यं प्रवृत्तिं च रजः कार्यं मोहम् एव च तमः कार्यम् इति एतानि न द्वेष्टि संप्रवृत्तानि सम्यग् विषयभावेन उद्भूतानि.
These prakasham cha. Literally, prakasha means one light. But here it is used in the sense figuratively. Sattva-karyam, the effect of sattva guna in terms of giving us the knowledge of Vishaya, sense object. So sattva-karyam is what? Jnanam. What jnanam? Vishaya jnanam. Of course, for Atma jnana also the sattva guna in the highest measure is required. But here, from the standpoint of the interaction with the world is set. Sattva-karyam. Pravrittim cha. What is pravritti? Karya means effect. Pravritti is rajah-karyam. Effect of rajoguna in terms of karmasu pravartanam. Pravartanam, engaging oneself. Karmasu, in the karmas, means taking to activities, taking to action. Do this, do that, all this, which is the effect of what? Rajoguna. So also, moham evacha. Moham, what is it? Tamah karyam, the effect of the tamo guna, that is aviveka, lack of discrimination, stupor, not knowing the things as they are, unable to decide what to be done, what is not to be done. Aviveka. Iti etani, these three effects of the three gunas respectively, sampravruttani, when they take place, when they manifest properly, when they manifest fully, say, na dveshti, apritim na karoti, he doesn't dislike them. You know, there is a phrase in the Sanskrit, agate swagatam kuryat gacchantam na nivarayet. If someone comes and says, welcome, he gets angry and gets away, go. Don't bother at all. Gacchantam na nivarayet. Hey, don't go now. If you want to go, go. Come, welcome. Like that. The effects of the three gunas come, well, good. They go, very good. Not very good, they are also good. Means when it can possible, when it is possible. When you have nothing to gain from them, when you have nothing to lose from them. How come? Your body and the mind depend on them. Hitherto it was so. Now I have discovered myself to be the Chaitanya, the pure awareness principle, which is Paramananda Swarupa, limitless happiness, free from the least trace of sorrow. When I have discovered it to be myself, of course, this may appear as a utopian dream. This is not so, sir. This is verified by the great master from the beginningless time till now. It is a verified truth. For a common man, it may appear as something just next to impossible, which is not so, please. If it were so, Krishna will never teach it. He has taken the very embodiment for the good of the humanity. Will he teach something that is wrong? Think. Impossible. So therefore, he is indifferent because he has nothing to gain from them and nothing to get. Till now, he was totally dependent on them because the body was taken as I. And this Sukha Dukkha's product of the gunas gives us all the havoc in life. So therefore, this is what he is independent of. This is possible when our incessant pursuit of acquiring joy, getting rid of sorrow stops in the discovery that I am limitless happiness, being free from gross body, subtle body, and the causal body, which are the sources of sorrow. I am totally free from the least trace of sorrow. This is the truth and nothing but the truth and truth alone. This is what this Gunatita Jnani Jivan Mukta has discovered directly. As a result, he is indifferent towards the effects of Sattva, Raja, and Tamoguna. So that's what he says. Na dveshti sampravruttani. What is meant by sampravruttani? Samyak. What is samyak? Vishaya bhavena. As manifest object, manifestly experienced. Udbhutani, uduptani, pravruttani, which are engaged, which are started. Now, means he's not bothered about that. To make us understand how a jnani is not bothered, is not concerned about the effect of gunas, a contrast is drawn by showing how an ajnani, ignorant person, gets what? Subjected to joys and sorrows because of these effects of the gunas. Then only you can draw the contrast. To know here there is no pot here on this table. You should know first what is the pot. So this Gunatita is free from reactions toward the Sattva Guna Karya, Rajo Guna Karya, Tamo Guna Karya. You should know what reaction do they bring in the case of Ajnani. Bhashyakara makes it clear so that the contrast becomes clear. Read Mama Tamasaha.
मम तामसः प्रत्ययः जातः तेन अहं मूढः तथा राजसी प्रवृत्तिः मम उत्पन्ना दुःखात्मिका तेन अहं रजसा प्रवर्तितः प्रचलितः स्वरूपात् कष्टं मम वर्तते यः अयं मत्स्वरूपावस्थानात् भ्रंशः तथा सात्विकः गुणः प्रकाशात्मा मां विवेकित्वम् आपादयन् सुखे च संजयन् बध्नाति इति तानि द्वेष्टि असम्यक दर्शित्वेन.
Ajnani reacts like this. What is the reaction? Mama tamasaha pratyayaha jata. In me, what is that? Tamasic thoughts are coming. Because of predominance of tamoguna, tamasic thoughts are coming. What are tamasic thoughts? Aviveka, moha, lack of discrimination of what is right, what is wrong, what is correct, what is not correct, what is to be taken to, what is not to be taken to. Himsa, killing someone, etc. Such notions. Prataya jata. And as a result, what happened? Tena aham mudha ad bhavami. I became aviveki because of tamas pratyaya. This is as far as his reaction toward the tamoguna effect. Whatever the rajoguna effect, tatha. So also, rajasi pravrutti mama utpanna dukkhatmika. In me, the pravrutti, that getting engaged in the rajasic karmas, means karmas, the disposition to take to karmas more and more and more and more, which is what is born in me, and it is dukkhatmika. It gives sorrows. And therefore what happened? Tena, because of this dukkhatmika rajasika pravritti, aham rajasa aham rajasa pravartita. I am pravartita means activated. As a result, what has happened? Sarupat prachalitaha. I am thrown out of my sarup because I have become now active, totally busy in activities which give sorrows. And therefore what? Kashtam mama vartate. Alas, I am suffering. I am miserable now. Vartate. Why so? Because, namely, I am subjected to what? Yaha ayam mat sarupavasthana bhramsha. I am just got alienated from my sarupa. I have got separated from my sarupa because of this effect of what? Rajoguna. Yo, I am miserable. So I am suffering. This is when the Rajoguna is effective. Whereas when Sattva-guna is predominant and effective, tatha, so also. Now one may say, that's fine. When Rajoguna and Tamoguna are active, Dvesha is okay. But why Sattva-guna is there? Why Dvesha? Listen. So also tatha, Satvika guna prakasha. The Sattva-guna is of other nature. Prakashatma means in the form of Vishaya Jnana Rupa. It removes the veiling, avarana, about the objects and beings around. They make you know what they are. Sattva-guna gives the Vishaya Jnana. As a result, says, Mam, to me, Vivekitvam apadayan. Here Vivekitvam is Vishaya Jnanam Janayan. Producing the perceptual knowledge about the objects and beings around. Apadayan, producing. Sukhe Sanjayan, attaching me, fastening me in sukha by asakti, priti in Vishaya Sukha. You may say, what is wrong? That's what we want. We want sense pleasure. Here is a person, little mature person. He says, This sense pleasure is more binding. Why binding? It gives you joy. Yes, it gives you joy. Taking away my limitless happiness. See, Vishaya Sukha, everyone wants to have it. But a mature person will be very cautious, because what all this Vishaya Sukha, sense pleasure, take for granted to have it. Number one, I should have a body, physical body. Number two, mind, intellect must be there. Antakarana must be. Number three, Vishaya, sense object, separate from me must be there. Number four, I must have it. Number five, it should be there for me permanently. Number six, I should have the disposition and the capacity to indulge in that sense pleasure. Otherwise, you have got lots of sweets in the home, diabetes. Miserable. Now, again, the frame of my mind must be calm and composed. None of these can be guaranteed. This striking this balance is like riding on many horses simultaneously. It's just not possible. So this Viveki knows final outcome of this Vishaya Bhoga, Vishaya Priti is nothing but sorrow only. You know that? In Vrihadaranyaka, it's a very famous statement. Priyam tva rosyati. What you hold as dear to you other than yourself will either, rosyati can be, will get perished one day and make you drown in the sorrow, or will make you weep one day. One statement is made by Shruti, the Vedas, Upanishads, as both a piece of advice or as a curse. A Viveki, a Mumukshu, a Shishya takes it as the piece of advice and becomes alert and safeguards one's interest. One who is aviveki, what nonsense, how is it? Sense pleasure gives happiness, etc. How do you say that they give sorrow? And he doesn't listen. Finally comes to what? A nasha, destruction of that what he holds at dear, or he is bound to, because separation, is bound to weep, means get subjected to sorrow. So, Upanishads, Vedas expect us to be very objective in nature. Don't get carried away by your pet notions which you are cherishing hitherto from the immemorial time in the past, which are there in your psyche as the software vasanas of acquiring and be happy, getting rid of and be free from sorrow. That is what you think is not the method. See, just think of it. So long as physical body, mind, intellect, and their cause ignorance is there, can anyone hope to be free from sorrow? Because sorrows are centered on this. You may say, what are you talking, sir? Body, mind, and me. You want to end me only? No, sir. That they are me, you is your mistake. You are the one because of which make you aware of the body, mind. See, we take Mr. So and so as this individual. God forbid that person collapsed and died. The body is lying there. Will you take him as the individual? We say what? Ayo, Papa, chale gaya. He left. You take for granted some entity is there who left the body. You also agree that body is not me. Think. Vedanta, Gita, Upanishad is not cock and bull. You have to inquire. How to inquire? Guidance is given. But effort is yours. It is not that push in your throat. Not that. So that in the case, see, he says, this, the very truth revealed by Upanishads, that me, every individual in real nature is limitless happiness, free from sorrow, may appear to be strange to begin with. But it is the truth. That is why, to begin with, of all the people, Bhagavan Krishna, who has nothing to get from this world, who has nothing to lose from this world, appeals to our Shraddha. Sonny, please have Shraddha. At least because I am telling you, I mean so Krishna. Of course, you can rely on me, Krishna. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. It is the seed capital to the pursuit of spirituality. Shraddhavan samshayatma vinashyati. Who doubts this truth, vinashyati, gets ruined in the sense, ultimately, he becomes useless to accomplish any purushartha. Leave alone moksha or jnana. Even artha kama he cannot take to. You know, four purushartha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Keep aside dharma and moksha. Artha, security, kama, fulfillment of desire, he is not able to take. So therefore, have the Shraddha in the Shastra. To begin with, certainly it may appear to be impossible. But we should know who is telling this. Not the modern day journalists and the politicians, the looters and cheaters of the nations. In the name of service of the nation, they are what? Amassing their all wealth. No. A person is like Krishna, who says, I have nothing that needs to be done. I have nothing that I have not got it. And yet, for the welfare of humanity, I am telling this. Should we not have Shraddha? The one who is all love for us, who have no duty, and yet it tells us. So therefore, here, this person who a Viveki, not Viveki, yes, Viveki, who finds that Sattva-guna is what now effective. So he doesn't entertain that, I'll be bound by that, by the notion that I'm Sukhi, etc. No. He knows the Swarupa and he knows in my presence, the effect of Sattva-guna has come and go. I am least affected by that. So Sattvic guna prakashatma mam vivekinam, who knows the vivek of atma and atma. Not vivekinam. Mam vivekitvam apadayan. By making me know the Vishaya, having me gain the Vishaya Jnana, Sukhe Sanjayanan, fastening me to Asakti, Preeti, to Sukha. See? Badnati, it binds, Sattva-guna binds me by making me, I am happy, etc. This is the case of a Ajnani. Iti, Tani Dveshti Asamyak Darshiti. Ajnani doesn't like these, dislike them because na samyak darshi. He doesn't have the knowledge of oneself in reality. Right knowledge. Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. The knowledge of what the entity that we refer as I is in reality. The entity for whose sake we always struggle to make it happy and free from sorrow. What that entity reality is, what he doesn't know his awesome means when you got erroneous knowledge. This is the case of an Ajnani, Asamyakdarshi. It says such reactions are not there in the Gunatita. Continue. Tadevam Gunatitaha.
तदेवं गुणातीतः यथा च तदेवं गुणातीतः तदेवं गुणातीतः न द्वेष्टि संप्रवृत्तानि.
In contrast to Ajnani, Asamyakdarshi, Gunatitaha. The one who knows Swarupa, free from gunas, independent of gunas, doesn't depend on the gunas means doesn't depend on his body and the mind, intellect and sukha dukkha that come and go in his presence because of prarabdha karma. Say, sampravrittani, when the tamoguna, rajoguna, sattva guna is manifest, he doesn't dislike them, he is indifferent about it. Because I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Let them come and go. What do I care for? The gist of this is told. Continue. Yathacha.
यथा च सात्विकादिपुरुषः सात्विकादिकार्याणि आत्मानं प्रति प्रकाश्य निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति न तथा गुणातीतः निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति इत्यर्थः.
Like this, you take Anvaya. Atmanam prati prakashya nivruttani सात्विकादि कार्याणि सात्विकादि पुरुषः यथा कांक्षति तथा गुणातीतः निवृत्तानि न कांक्षति इति अर्थः। Yatha, just it says, these effects of the gunas, who are they? Atmanam prati prakasha. Sattva guna, rajoguna and tamoguna. Prakasha, having made manifest their effects. Now what has happened? Prakasha. Satvikadi karyani prakasha. Satvikadi purushaha. The person who is what? Satvik, Rajasic and Tamasic. Yatha, just as, what did they do? Kankshati. They have nivruttani. They have stopped their effect. And he what? Oh, I would like to have that. Oh, they have stopped. I want to have that. This is a case of ajnani. Tatha, like that. Gunatitaha. Nivruttani. This what? Sattvadi karyani nivruttani. The effects of sattva which have ceased to be there, just stopped. Na kankshati. Does not desire for. He has nothing to get from them. He has nothing to lose from them. It doesn't depend on them. So now the Gunatita Lakshana is told. I hope Krishna. Bhashyakara wants to warn us. Look, these features are not meant to assess others. You cannot do that. It is meant for oneself. Otherwise, no. We are always curious and busy in rating others. Nothing to, not about oneself. Is it not? Is he Gunatita or not? My dear, you see yourself first. So therefore, I say, these features cannot be assessed in the case of other persons. These are meant to assess one's own progress in terms of being independent of the gunas. Continue. Etat.
एतत् न परप्रत्यक्षं लिंगम किम तर्हि स्वात्म प्रत्यक्षात् आत्मविषयम् एव एतद् लक्षणम्.
Etat. What are the etat? These, what is that? Gunatitas lakshanas. Etat. Parapratyksham lingam na bhavati. This cannot be the science which can be known by others. Oh, he's a Jivan Mukta. He's like this, etc. No, you can't know it. Oneself only can know. Some distinction may be possible, but truly these are what? Subjective in nature. These signs are subjective in nature, objectively not available for verification. Parapratyksham means which cannot be directly perceived by others. Lingam, chinna, sign. Kim tarhi, then what? Swatma pratyakshatva, being the dispositions in one's antakarana. It is evident to oneself only. See, anger, love, greed, hatred, these are what? Within our antakarana. We only can know it, others will not. Others may come to know when the overt expression is there. Somebody is harboring hatred towards someone else. You don't know. How can you know? So like that. Swatma pratyakshatva, being available for knowing directly in the subjective matter. Atma Vishayam eva etal lakshanam. Atma Vishayam means these features are meant for ourselves to know, find out where do we stand. Of course, we imbibe and try to become like that. Why so? The reason is being given. Nahi,
नहि स्वात्म विषयम द्वेषम आकांक्षा वा परः पश्यति.
why so? Because Swatma Vishayam. Swatma Vishayam means Swatma Ashrayam. Those things which are there in one's antakarana, bosom, mind, that one, dvesham, hatred, akanksha, expectation, or agna, paraha na pashyati. Other person cannot know that. That's subjective in nature. So therefore, Arjuna, these features are given of Gunatita. It is not meant to assess someone, but to assess oneself only. So, the Lakshana, characteristic feature of a Gunatita, Jnani, Jivan Mukta are told. Kim Acharaha was there. How does he conduct himself? So that is now being described in the next verse 23. We'll see next time.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः. गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः. पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी. देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः. ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः. सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः. सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु. मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. असतो मा सद्गमय. तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय. मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः.